Okay, it's looking fine. Everything's looking good. Um, Well, welcome to the live stream, everyone. For those of you who don't know, my name is Alex Winkler, and I have been trading for just about 6 years now. I started as an equities trader when I lived in New York City. Did that for about 3 years, then focused a lot on my company, Enslow Inc., which I'm sure a lot of you guys already know about. And eventually, our company started buying and selling or paying out clients in cryptocurrencies, and specifically Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. And over time, or as we started doing that, I eventually incorporated some of my equities trading strategies to the crypto market, and I was able to consistently grow our crypto fund. So with that in mind, I started putting all of my trades online. I started documenting everything that I do to, one, help myself become a better trader, and also teach everyone else how to become consistently profitable traders. So that is what this channel is all about. And every Monday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I do a live stream where I just talk about my last week's trade and some of the upcoming things. So actually, let's go ahead and view the topics that we're going to be talking about right now. And the best way to do that is just going over to my trade screen and then sharing it. Boom, that was easy. Okay, so now we are shared on the screen, and the general 5 topics that we cover is, simple housekeeping, some things I want to talk about. I wrote a few things down. It goes very quickly. And the second thing we're going to do is we're just going to have a quick tradejournal.co stats overview so we can see all the moving parts. Then we'll talk about some of the trades, and we'll review reviews the Bitcoin charts and some of the altcoin charts, especially some of the ones that I'm watching. And if you guys have any questions, we'll finish up with a quick Q&A session. What is up, ChemDog? Good morning. Stream looks good. That's good to hear. Sometimes it's buffering. I noticed on some of the last videos there was a little discrepancy between the audio and the video, but that looks like it has resolved itself with the last few videos. That was like 5 videos ago or something like that. So let's get started. Some of the housekeeping. An interesting little note I made because I keep kind of hearing this. I was just in Bulgaria and I had some conversations about trading, and I've noticed this a lot when I meet people that are somewhat new to investing and building long term or getting involved in trading and all this stuff. They really mix up the terms investing and trading quite often, and they really have nothing in common. Trading is typically referred to with day trading and swing trading. You're in and out of positions sometimes in a few minutes to a few days. Swing trading is more on the few days, sometimes a few weeks, sometimes even a few months when it comes to swing trading. But day trading, most of the trading I do is in anywhere from 10 minutes to, I would say, 2-3 hours is my average day trade. So fairly quickly, a little bit longer than I would say on the stock market, but that with the crypto, it's a bit more delayed. Everything takes a bit longer to roll out. I would say simply because there is no opening and closing times, so there's no peak volume sessions, right? As when you trade equities, 9:30 the market opens Eastern Standard Time, and boom, everyone places their orders. So you have that huge volume. You could be in and out of trades, in and out of a trade in 1-2 minutes and make 10-20%, and it's a beautiful thing. But with crypto, it's a bit more drawn out. Everything's a bit slower when it comes to day trading. When it comes to investing, the longer time frame, it does tend to move a bit quicker than the market. So that is a big thing I want to make. If you are looking to invest and grow a nest egg and things like that, and allocate some of your portfolio into crypto, that is a whole different route. What we are doing here is simply day trading and sometimes swing trading as well. We also do a bit of investing on the side. We have a Crypto 52 challenge, for example, where every week we allocate a fixed amount of capital towards a currency or several currencies that we believe in, and we're going to hold that for at least 52 weeks, right? That's why it's the Crypto 52 challenge, and that's a whole year. So and if you want to learn more about that, just go over to what is it? crypto.enzo.com/challenge. I think if you type in challenge, you could learn all about the Crypto 52 challenge. And I just came out with a video last week. Our portfolio is up over 80%, I think. And yeah, you can learn all about that. right here on this page. And if you are interested in learning more about investing, just check out, enter your information here, and you'll get all videos related to investing a little bit more. You know what? I should actually add the second video here. That would make a lot of sense. Okay, well, let's not get too off topic. Anyway, yes, second housekeeping fact. I was just in Bulgaria, so I didn't trade for a few days this week, and that was a crazy trip. Was visiting my friend for their 30th birthday, and I'll maybe come out with a short video about that. I took a few phone videos, so maybe I'll tie something together and it'll be good fun. So I might come out with a video maybe tomorrow or the next day about the Bulgaria trip, or maybe a bit later as some other videos come in from some friends. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, let's get right into it. So done with housekeeping. Let's dive right into the trade journal stats and overview. By the way, guys, I wanted to keep this video about 30 minutes. They have been going over 45 minutes lately. I'm going to try to make them a little bit shorter because I know you guys are all busy. But if you guys are ever too busy to watch the full video, you can always watch it as a playback on ×2 speed or something like that. I'll try to speak a little bit more clear because I do know when you watch on ×2 speed, sometimes I speak a little kind of like short and quick, and it's hard to watch that quickly. I've watched it myself on ×2 speed, and I'll work on that, but I'm still getting used to it. So tradejournal.co stats, let's dive into that right now. And here are two pictures. Oh, I didn't link the pictures. They usually blow up in bigger size. I'll go ahead and I'll do that after the video. But anyway, you can always click on these two images right here and get your own overview, so you can always see it. It's kind of a snapshot in time. But I'm going to go over here to where I take these snapshots from, so you guys can see a little bit more how it all works and how you guys can do this yourself. And it's also a little bit bigger, so it's a good thing for the video. So this was last week, and last week before it was actually, well, I would say in the beginning of Monday, I already closed out 2 trades and I was at over $1,000 in profit already. So it was a really, really nice way to start the week last week. I closed a day trade that I opened on Saturday, and I also closed a swing trade that I opened on, when was this? On the 7th of the week before. So those 2 closings of trades was a really, really nice way to start the week, and that's kind of why I went over, I would say, $1,000 very clearly this week, simply because we closed out a swing trade. But then at the end of the day, you can see my day trades were actually my most profitable category this week. So the week before, my swing tradings were really holding down the fort, also the week before, but this week my day trading really was highlighted nicely. Simply, I would say, because we had so much volatility, and I was really able to capitalize on a lot of these trades, and I had a bit more funds available. A lot of my funds last week were, I would say, held up with some swing trades and some other things, so I wasn't able to enter a swing or a day trade with a position size that I would really want. Yeah, so then the trading on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday really were the big ones. And I'll talk about all these trades individually, but I would say Thursday was a pretty sketchy day. I started off the day with a $200 loss. It really wasn't that bad percentage-wise because it was a big position, but I was able to come back with a $336 profitable trade. Friday could have been an amazing trading day if I placed a limit order, an overnight limit order, which I had, but then I just simply removed the limit order before I went to bed. This could have been easy, 5 to even more % profitable trade. I'll talk about a little bit of that one later on. So let's actually go ahead and prepare this for next week. By the way, the chart picture I get is from here, and you guys can build this chart yourself. This is called tradejournal.co. You can get this sheet on your own on the website, and there's 8 tutorial videos that teach you how to do everything and talk about each one of these tabs. The reason we use Trade Journal, by the way, as well, is so we can learn from all our trades, we can keep everything documented, and we know how we are progressing. If you are just trading blindly, oftentimes, you start doing really weird things and taking way too much risk. And by documenting your trades, you you are able to really learn from it. You're able to figure out what works. Is my day trading really good? Is my swing trading really good? And also the individual trades, you're also able to learn. So this is day trading. Here's my profit. Here's my winning ratio, my average position size, my average win P&L. So all these things you can use to later benefit your own trading and improve your own trading. So that's really the importance of Trade Journal. So sweet, we have everything ready for the new week. That means the chart is probably going to be a little flatlined right here. Yep, this is the new week, so it's going to be fun starting to fill that out. I hope we'll be able to get a trade today. I'm not going to rush anything. I've been waiting. I'll talk about this a little bit more in the end of the video, but I've been waiting for a nice little dip below this support area, and I would love to pick up some Litecoin right around this support line. But we might actually crash during this video. We've had a constant kind of support coming in here, but it's looking very, very weak. All the bounces are always dying quickly, so I think we might see a crash, maybe even during this video. Okay, so time for the good stuff. Time to review the top trades and biggest lessons. Good morning, David, as well. Happy you guys were able to tune in. Okay, so I already have all these trades open, and so all we're gonna have to do is just kind of go and review them one by one. And the first trade is the Litecoin day trade that I closed out. It was an overnight trade. I had a nice limit order ready to go, and the price went down, bounced off a support line I was able to identify, and we talked about in the Discord private trading chat room. And when the price simply bounced up, I got out of the position right away. By the way, guys, this is a support line bounce, and I like to say this a lot during the live streams because I find this really, really important. I love to document trading patterns, and if you want to learn more about the patterns that I use for each trade, just come down here. You can see this is specifically a support line bounce long. You can read all about the support line bounces, and you can see all of my support line bounce trades. So I find it very helpful, and I've also recently got some nice feedback on how people were able to use this for their own trading. Maybe I'll go through some of the feedback later in this video with you guys. Okay, so let's just dive right in. This was a beautiful, beautiful day trade. A bit more aggressive than I would usually have a day trade. I'm typically liking to take profits between 2 and 3% in a bullish market, which we are in right now. But this trade, simply because it was an overnight trade and I did not have an ideal exit order in place, I took profits a bit later, and this time it was a good thing. Not all the time is a good thing. You know, sometimes you'll be up 3% profit, you don't take profits, and all of a sudden it could be a losing trade. So, you know, you always want to take profits quickly as a day trader. But let's go ahead and view the chart. So let's start with the longer time frame, and then I'll zoom in a little bit. So this is the long time frame, and this is where we had the massive Litecoin breakout, and then we had a little breakout bounce over here, and then we had this big run up, this ascending channel, I would say. Just imagine there is a little trend line right here, and then another parallel trend line right here. That's an ascending channel. And then we broke down from that channel. We had a little breakdown bounce, and then again we were making our way to this support area where we had that initial bounce, and that is when we had this entry. I think we even had a second entry right around here, but we'll review that in a little bit. Anyway, yeah, so let me zoom in just a bit more, and you can see this a bit more clear. I do typically, if I'm trading live, or I would say if I'm not, you know, sleeping and I'm on the computer and I don't have a limit order waiting for the price, what I like to do is typically enter these kind of trades afterwards. It's a bit less risky. So when the bounce is confirmed, you can enter usually on the way up. Sometimes it's a little hard, and sometimes you have to chase a little bit, but there's a nice confirmation that there is a bounce, so it's a lot less risky. Sometimes you'll have, you know, let's say you think the support line is here, the price will just shoot right through it, and it could get a little dangerous. It's happened to me before, but when, I mean, this is a huge downtrend. Let me quickly pull it out on the 1 hour. When was this? This was on the 12th. So that was right here. So imagine, I mean, wait, that's not true. That was right here. So imagine, wait, right? 82, am I crazy? Can't even think right now. Yeah, so 83 roughly. Okay, so that is this support line. So imagine we had a dip from, roughly here. Well, I'll use more or less the body. I mean, this is over a 10%. This is way over a 10% dip. So very conservative, I would say, overnight limit order. These, you don't catch these all the time. A lot of times, you'll place a very conservative limit order and you don't get executed. But the thing about limit orders overnight is you don't want to wake up and be down 10%, right? So you want to be very, very extremely very conservative when placing limit orders overnight, because the worst thing that can happen is when you wake up and the market is down 20% or something like that, or even 10%, and your limit order was just 2-3% below where the price was before you went to bed. So be very conservative with these limit orders, overnight limit orders, because they can be dangerous. But if you place near big support in a bull market where the price is generally trending upwards, you should be fine on average. And yeah, let's go over the next trade. I'm still waking up a little bit. This trip was really exhausting, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm like extremely sleep deprived. But no excuse. I'm actually super stoked it's Monday. I've been deprived of my laptop and trading all weekend, so I'm super happy to be back. So this is the Cardano swing trade, and this was a pretty cool trade. It is actually kind of funny. Okay, we don't have a long-term picture on this one. So this is a 60-minute chart, and this was a funny trade simply because I would say we closed out of a long-term position right before this trade with ADA, and I loved the price action that we were seeing, so I re-entered the trade. We're actually going to talk about this ascending channel that we're seeing right now on ADA as well. This could be a phenomenal swing trade coming up. Typically, ascending channels break to the downside, and that's what I think we're going to see here. I think we're going to have a little crack, we're going to have a little bounce back, and then we are from there going to trail on downwards. I don't want to make too much of a tangent right now, but why not draw it out a little bit? So this is what I think we might be seeing here with Cardano. But anyway, I definitely sold way too early on this one. I had beautiful exits, but they were just still too early. So whoop, I'm still on this little marker thing. Okay, so we sold one of our long-term positions right here when we had a little bounce off the support line, simply got out of the position. I wanted to re-enter the position, but I thought, we were going to see a bit better of an entry, and or we were able to get potentially a better entry, and that's exactly what happened. Not a big difference, maybe around 7%. I opened this position, and then what I wanted to do was simply sell before all this resistance right here. You can see how this was kind of former support, and then right here it flipped, turned into resistance, and that is when I placed, when I saw that and noticed that near this big shoulder, I placed a limit order right after I entered the trade. So I entered the trade here, and right afterwards on Kraken, I went on the exchange and placed a limit order. I sold almost actually at the perfect high, but it was a partial execution. And then I moved my order down here and sold the rest here. It would have been nice if I just maybe held it or something like that. I mean, 30% rise after I sold, that's a little painful, but you know what? I made, I think, like 15% or something like that on this trade. No, even more, 20 give or take percent on this trade. So super, super beautiful trade. And I'm never going to complain about 20% profit. Yeah, it was 20.79% profit. Smaller position size, only about $3,000 position size. So the P&L profit was only $600. But guys, the swing trading is a beautiful thing, because if you are in a bull market, if the weekly's in a bull, if the daily's in the bull, if the 4 hours in a bullish trend, you can find these support levels, and then you can hold, for several days or several weeks, and you can make a lot of profits with smaller position sizes. So it's a really, really beautiful thing. And we're going to be reviewing a few more upcoming entries for swing trades later on in this video. I could really just watch 88 right now all day. Hey Shirley, happy you can make it. I hope I'm saying that name right. Okay, let's continue, guys. I don't want to take too long. I'm kind of zoning out here because I could easily just pass out right now, but I'm trying to stay focused. I also ran out of coffee this morning. It was traumatizing. Okay, so the next trade, day trade, yeah. So they're all the other trades are day trades actually, and I think I actually skipped one. So let me close out of this one, and the next trade I think they were all support line bounces this week. I was trading extremely conservative. One thing I like to say all the time is I like to make 1% profit per trading day. So every day that, I think is looking really good, I would love to trade, 5 days a week minimum, but as a trader, you don't always get that. Trading is kind of like surfing, and you might really want to surf that day, but if there's no waves, you really can't surf. You can maybe just play in the water, or something like that, get a tan on the beach, but you're not going to be really surfing. And that's the same with trading. If there's no volume or volatility, you just really can't trade, and that's just something really important to keep in mind. And don't try to overtrade when there is no volatility, because you will get burnt. It's going to be really choppy, and that's why this week was really nice, and I was able to build up a bit more profits because almost every day was a good trading day, and very rare conditions, I would say. So let's go ahead and review this trade. Okay, so this was P&L. The P&L was a bit smaller, 1.74%, but the position size was a bit bigger. I typically trade with $10,000 per entry, but I have, now that we closed out some swing trades and I have a bit more in our Coinbase account, I decided to get a bit more aggressive and start trying to trade closer to $15,000 per entry. This will also help my P&L and my profit P&L, the dollar P&L, and also help me with my 1,000 a week goal, which is the current goal right now. Another thing that I really like to do, and I'm not that great at it, is my first entry. I like to take about half. I do half the entry, and then, which, is about $7,000, give or take, and, maybe sometimes $8,000. And then as the price goes against me, but the position is still really good, then do a second entry. So I like to average down a little bit. I oftentimes notice my first entry is rarely my best entry, and I've been doing this for 6 years. So there is, it's always nice to have a bit more capital ready to go and get a little bit better entry dollar cost average a little bit. So this one is, like I said in the beginning, the first trade, you guys probably remember where I said if I'm trading live, I like to trade after a confirmation, right? And this one was exactly that. I didn't have a limit order waiting down here. I acknowledge the fact that this is probably going to be big support, but we did break this support, and then we turned around. But imagine, you bought here and then you cut your losses right here, right? And then you just take, a 2% loss because the support line doesn't bounce. And that's why you don't really want to have blind limit orders set up. And if you're going to have blind limit orders set up, maybe be very conservative, maybe trade with a smaller position size, or have a position size here, another one here, and kind of work your way down. But it's something I really just be careful with, right? It could get very dangerous very quickly. Anyway, so what happened was I was not able to enter my position, so that was a little annoying. I could have probably entered it out here, but then I was getting a little, or I was getting extra conservative, and I was waiting for a retouch of this support line. So a lot of times you'll see a big bounce here, you'll see it come up, you'll see the price come down here, and then a little bit of price just sideways action consolidation before we have a big reversal. But this was really I should almost change this from a support line bounce to a waterfall pattern. I talk about the waterfall pattern quite extensively. It's one of my favorite ones to trade. And what you have is a huge crash in price, and then you have a few, typically around 3, I would say, little mini bull flags along the way back to the upside. And that's what we had here. We had one right here. I would say more or less one right here. I don't know if you were really zoomed in. Actually, this is the 1 minute chart, so it's already pretty zoomed in. But I'd say 1, 2, and maybe a third one forming here, but I don't remember what happened. I think we did break out a little bit higher. But anywhere near this is definitely where I would have sold if I didn't sold here. PEG entry at $60.75 with a stop loss of 1.25. We could check out PEG later. I actually don't even know what PEG. I'll keep that in mind. Made a little note. Okay, cool. So that was this trade. Fairly straightforward. I did have to chase a little bit, so my entry wasn't as nice as I wanted it to be. I was waiting for a second entry right around here, or initial entry right around here. We had this bounce, and then we just kind of continued this upward trend. So it was a little bit of chasing on my end. And after we had this kind of pause, I simply got on my position, because sometimes you'll have it fizzle out a bit longer. I could have been a bit more aggressive and took profits here, but I like to take my profits pretty quickly. You don't go broke taking profits, and when you're up already $245, it's kind of nice just to be out of the trade, lock in those profits. And that's my over $200 is my goal per day. That is how I get my, if I trade 5 times a week, do a simple quick day trade, lock in $200 profit, and then I could easily reach my $1,000 a week goal. So again, this was a support line bounce, and in hindsight, this trade actually could have been like 3 trades, and they could have all been extremely profitable, but very, very similar, 1.64% profit, and then $208 profit. So right now we are on the 1 minute chart, and again, these are the longer support lines. You're going to see these today as well on the chart, and this was the trade right before it. So let's zoom in again to the 1 minute chart. You can see right here we had a huge fall in price, and then the price came into a very nice support zone. I simply entered the position in this, and I love it. A lot of times, just check out the time down here. So this is 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, and then 10 in the morning. So what I do oftentimes, I try to wake up, around 6:30. It doesn't really happen, especially if after I get back from a trip. So today I woke up at 7:45, but a bit later. Anyway, then I'll be, come out with my watch list right around 8:30. I'll have breakfast and all that stuff, be showered, and then by 9 o'clock, I'm like fully active in the market, and this is just perfect timing for me. I already have my watch list. I already know what the market's doing. I already know the general trend. I see here that we are in a pennant pattern, which oftentimes break to the downside after a big run up like this, and we have big support down here. So mentally, I'm fully ready for this trade by 9 o'clock, and I feel like this 9 o'clock happens all the time. Anyway, the price comes down here where we had big support and originally resistance. This trade to me was a no-brainer. We ran up. I simply took my profits near this high, and then we started forming an ascending channel. When I noticed that we were forming an ascending channel, what I should have done was enter a position right here. This would have been a beautiful entry, and my next trade actually of the day is an entry that was almost exactly like this. Let me show you right now. So the next trade, this is on, I think it was Thursday. This was my one loss of the week, and very similar position. Here we go. Let me pull it up. So it was a 1.24% loss. Really not that bad percentage wise. It was a bit bigger dollar loss, and that's simply because these trading fees. Check out these trading fees. $28.87 for a position size of $14,528. That's a little absurd, and the reason is because it's all percentage based on these crypto exchanges. When I trade equities, I'm paying only $3.75 on TD Ameritrade per trade. So if I enter a position, that's $3.75, and when I sell the position, that's another $3.75. I'm paying under $8 for a trade, and that's pretty amazing, because I could be trading with $10,000, I could be trading with $100,000, and I'm still paying under $8 for a roundhouse trade. Here it's kind of absurd how expensive trading cryptocurrency is. It can be nice, and what is nice about it is, let's say you want to trade with only $100. Then it's extremely doable because you pay a percentage of that, right? So then you're paying a really small dollar amount, but that dollar amount at one point becomes kind of a nuisance, I would say. Okay, that was a little tangent, but let me get back on point. So you probably remember. Okay, so this is the trade we just talked about. We were forming an ascending channel after we had a support come in here, and this is a really nice pattern. What happened again later in the week is we're having this ascending channel forming, but there's a few reasons why this is not a perfect ascending channel. One, we have a lot of white space here, and when you don't have these perfect touch points, it becomes a little bit less reliable. But I did still like this trade, and I think I would take this trade any other day of the week, because we also are coming here with a long-term support line. And and I'll show you a little bit later on in this video what the support lines or long-term support lines look like. But just keep in mind, this is a long-term support line. So we got supported here, and then we're coming back down here, and I drew this line after. So what I did was I had this line right here, and I drew it, and then I simply copied and pasted it down here. And a lot of times these lines are perfectly parallel because a lot of traders you do it like that, and you know, if enough people do it, it kind of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I moved the parallel line back down here, and then when we didn't fully break it, it came right back up. That is a bullish indicator. We also had no volume down here, so there was not a lot of interest for people to break it, and generally that's a good sign. But we were in a downtrend, and this moving average simply just brought us down. You can see there was a lot of sellers here, and eventually we cracked. And once we cracked, this was pretty sketchy. I tried to get out, and I had two exits. One exit was just about perfect. It was right around here. The other exit was a bit lower. I think it was in all this chop. Did I write it down? Yeah, so here you can see it. First exit. No, wait. These are my partial entries. Closing out positions, half out already. This is what I wrote in the Discord private trading chat room. I was out. So yeah, I closed out half the position. I forgot to write down the price I closed it out at, but I remember one was around here, and then one probably was in this other chop, and this was my average. So kind of a sketchy way to exit a trade. But this is why it's so important to get out of a trade quickly. So I should have got out of the trade right around here, maybe even in here, when I noticed the price was no longer going my way. The thing is, with trading, there's nothing wrong with a loss, right? The best traders are only right around 70% of the time. So you're going to take losses, and that's just completely fine. The thing that's not okay is a big loss. So yeah, when the price is moving against you, when your original trading thesis is no longer valid, you just want to get out of the trade and wait for the next one to come your way, and don't really worry about it too much. Well, luckily, that's more or less what I did, and we didn't have to go down this giant mess because you don't know how far the price was, and this could have been a big loss on my end, but I was able to avoid that simply by having my mental stop loss ready to go and not being overly biased in my position either. Okay, so the next trade was right after this one, and I thankfully didn't let the first trade ruin my mood, and I was able to capitalize on this next trade very well. So here you can see it in a bit more zoomed in manner. And you can see here, this is where we got our last trade, and we kept on going down. And then right around here, when we were approaching this big support zone, I re-entered this trade. And this is actually funny because remember last one we had that big waterfall pattern that just kind of shot up like this. This time the price did exactly what I wanted. The price came bounced, and instead of moving up like a waterfall pattern, it came back down and retouched this. So I could have got a much better entry if I, maybe entered a bit more right around here, but I think I entered my full position when we kind of had these pipe candles, which again is a very bullish indicator, and I simply didn't want to chase the price too much. So I don't complain too much about this entry. It was a little painful when the price was down here, but that's just kind of how trading works sometimes. Nothing's really ever perfect, but that's also a beautiful thing. You don't have to be a perfect or even a really good trader to be consistently profitable. You just got to take your profits and cut your losses quickly, and over time you're going to be consistently profitable as long as you avoid those big losses. And I think this is actually kind of a cool chart. This is a bit more zoomed down. You can see all the support line bounces that I did along the way. And here was the failed support line bounce. And then here was the last one we just reviewed. And on average, I probably sold way too early on a lot of these trades. What I should have been doing as well was looking into swing trades. So what we had here when we had a reversal and we broke out from this resistance area, and then we had a bounce from this resistance area, and then a bounce again, and then kind of a double bottom right here. All very bullish indicators. What I should have done was maybe enter a swing trade or something like that right around here and really capitalize on this 10 plus, 15-20% plus upside. That's really what I probably should have done this week to really improve my trading. that could have easily landed me at, you know, $2,000-3,000 profit this week. So something to keep in mind. Okay, so that was the full review of the trades of last week. I was able to review them all pretty relaxed because there just wasn't as many as the week before. Last week I had a review, I think it was, you know, 10 or more than 10 trades, so there was a lot to talk about. So let's quickly review the trades and then let's quickly review all the charts. We'll do Bitcoin, we'll do BTC, USD short, and then some of the alts I want to talk about, and that is about it. Then we can wrap up with that, and then we'll finish up with a quick Q&A session, and surely that is when I will check out the ticker that you mentioned here. So every or 5 times a week, I post a watch list, and you can learn more about me posting a watch list. If you just, yeah, this is the post. So if you just come back here, you could learn more about, you know, how I'm a consistently profitable trader and everything that I do. And one of the things that I do 5 times a week is I post a trader watch list, and we're going to talk a little bit about this watch list today. This is it right here. So this is what I post in the morning, and I change it up every now and then, but I like to recap my last trades. I like to I like to recap my last trades, and then I, you know, check out what's the trend, because it's, you know, the trend is your friend. That is my second trading commandment out of my 7 trading commandments, and it's really important just to know what the general trend of the market is. So I like to just, you know, post that. It oftentimes doesn't change. If I put the 1 hour here, it changes a bit more frequently, but I would say it's less relevant because, you know, it oftentimes moves in and out of the moving average, and I would say it's less relevant. It's really, really important to know what the daily and 4 hour are, I would say, more than anything. Okay, so let's review the charts. You know, I'm just going to go ahead and close this. I had the Pro Coinbase account open simply because I was waiting for a really big dip during this live stream. I really thought that we might actually get one. And right now, ADA is kind of cracking down. Let's kind of move these a little bit to the side. Oh, this is going to be hard to move. Okay, well, this is not really relevant to move this, but one more try. You know, maybe if I use the D-pad, it'll work. Oh, I think I got it. Nope, I didn't get it. Okay, whatever. So with ADA, we're still waiting for a crack here. I actually have a limit order in place right around this 0.7. I think it was 0.0706 or something like that. I have a buy limit order right around here. But let's just get started with the BTC USD shorts, because they did something crazy over the weekend, or I think it was Thursday, or maybe Friday. And they went down, I think it was 40%. Let me check again. Yeah, just about 40%, a little over 40% in one candle. And that is huge. That means a lot of people did not want to have their short positions open anymore. They covered their positions. What happens when shorts cover the position? They have to buy, and that drives the market up on average. And this is just a huge amount of short covering. And then again, you can see the $17,000 support level slowed down the price again. We did go down to the $16,000 level, which is we haven't seen all year. Right, actually, you know what, that might not be true. No, it is true. So it is 2019. Okay, the year is right here. For some reason, I got 2018 mixed up. So these are yearly all-time lows and almost all-time lows of last year as well, or the second half of last year. So these are very low levels that we are seeing, which means shorts could pile on to the market again and drive the price a lot lower, especially at these high levels that we are in right now. After Bitcoin, for example, went up 150% or something like that, even more. So yeah, it's an interesting thing to note. Again, I don't really trade off of this, but I like to know what the shorts are up to. And something else, though, to keep in mind is that this is only on Bitfinex. So, you know, take that as you will. Let me actually refresh this page. I feel like I recently updated this one. You know what it is? It's because this is not the latest weekly trade review. I was so confused. I was like, I didn't Did I write this today? Am I stoned? What is going on here? Okay, so this makes a lot more sense. This is the new weekly trade review. I knew there was something weird when I was reading it, and I just couldn't put my finger on it when we were talking about it. So I kept a few of the old things because it was extremely relevant, and I really wanted to point it out. I did at this part. Like always, 17,000 acted as support, but we are at the lowest levels reached, even down to 16K. So okay, BTC, let's review BTC a little bit. I think I have some spelling mistakes in here. Sorry guys, I really apologize today. I'm a little loopy. Actually, for some reason, every Monday I've been extremely loopy lately. Last weekend, I came back from Bonn, a big graduation party. My girlfriend graduated and it was just pure chaos. So Monday I was so sleep deprived, a little hungover. And today it's kind of the same thing. And the weekend before, the Monday before that, I don't know. I think was that the day the oil exploded on me. I don't know. I've been having like a really bad Monday luck streak, and I don't want to apologize. I mean, whatever. I'm not making excuses or anything, but yeah, I don't know what it is with me and Mondays. The crazy thing is I actually love Mondays. I love getting back to work. I love just checking out charts. I could do this all day. So it's me. I'm always super excited for Mondays, but a little, sometimes as of lately, I've been a little just, I don't know, dead on Mondays. Okay, let me not get on too many tangents. We are at 40 minutes. I apologize for being a little over time, but there is just so much good stuff to talk about, and I'm going to answer Shirley's, or check out Shirley's ticker that he posted, and also review some of these specifically. So let's do Bitcoin, let's do Ethereum, and then I'll go through some of these as well, specifically EOS, because EOS is forming a really interesting pattern right now as well. Starting with Bitcoin, these are two really interesting levels I want to kind of highlight. It's this $8,000 level, and then again this $7,000 level. We touched them both multiple times. We had a little crack here, but again, not with too well, actually with a lot of volume, but then we came right back up and then held our highs. So that's actually more or less a bullish indicator. We also have the moving average coming in here. So we should be seeing, continuation of support every time the price goes down to these levels. I probably would not be buying for a swing trade right around here, or if you're averaging into a long-term investment position, maybe right here is not the best entry point, but right around here would be, I would say, more or less phenomenal. So I would definitely wait for a reversal right like that. What we might have here is a horizontal channel forming, or some sort of a longer term bullish flag. But either way, we might see a bit more action here before, picking a direction. Are we going to break down to the downside? Are we going to, continue to the upside? I have honestly zero idea, and that is not what trading is about. It's not about predicting really which way the price is going to go. It's all about just finding patterns, finding simple support and resistance, and then taking trades based off of good risk and reward. And risk reward is very simple. It's, here is support, right? We have general support here. Every time the price generally comes down here, we bounce off of it, right? And then we have resistance right around here. So there's way more reward for given risk if you enter a trade in these areas. And that's like trading 101 in a nutshell. So that is, how I feel about Bitcoin right now. Again, I'm not overly bullish in the short term, but I am very bullish in the long term. I would just simply wait for the price to come back and have a little bit better of an entry point. Tomorrow we'll be entering actually a few more long-term positions. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, we're going to be entering long-term positions. So I already have some limit orders out for that, closer to these support levels. Let's dive into Ethereum. What I said about Ethereum today was support at 225 and resistance at 275. We have a pennant pattern forming, which is really interesting. And these are always great areas for limit orders to be placed and potential swing and investment opportunities, even day trading opportunities if you are, a bit more active like that and you want to do that. So let's go ahead to, we already are on Ethereum. So here is Ethereum. Again, just like Bitcoin, we are having support right around these areas. But we are also having, instead of more of a horizontal channel, we are seeing a bit more of a pennant pattern forming. And remember on my day trade where we bought where we waited for a pennant pattern to break out to the downside. We bought near support, and then we sold the day trade right after the bounce off of support. So that could be a really, really nice trade. Let me kind of draw it out for you. So we would have a crack here. We might have a little retrace, and then again, we would have a continuation down here. And then as the price bounces up, you know what? I just realized I'm horrible at using this drawing tool. Kind of use it like a pencil where I lift my hand every time, but it would be better if I didn't stop it. So let me try this one more time. Okay, all right, my last attempt. So what we might have here is a little breakdown. We might have just a bit of a retest before we come back down here, and then we'll probably bounce off of this area and then maybe have a little bounce, and then you can easily buy here and sell here for a nice little day trade. Again, nothing is guaranteed, and I would always wait till we have a confirmation of a bounce, because what happens if the red candle just shoots through this, we bounce off of here and then maybe come back to these areas and then just continue a downwards trend, right? You don't want to be on the wrong side of that trade, and when the price crashes, it can crash very, very quickly. And I'm again just trying to delete this stupid little white dot. Did I click it? Okay, I got it. So yeah, just keep that in mind. When the price crashes, sometimes support levels disappear like they don't exist, and just, you know, read the price pretty actively, wait for a confirmation. What's really nice is, you know, when the price doesn't crack and then we kind of form a little support here and then move back to the upside, you know, wait for something like that. Let's keep on moving. Let's try to finish this in the next, you know, 5, 6, 7 minutes. I also don't want to leave out anything, right? There's a lot of good stuff to talk about. Litecoin, we could quickly hit Litecoin because Litecoin is what I trade the most, simply because I love how it moves. It's, you know, right now it's moving a bit less than the other coins, but typically, you know, if Bitcoin's up 5%, Litecoin's up or down 10%, right? It's very, very volatile, and I love doing trading something that's a bit more volatile. Litecoin, though, just like the other cryptos, you know, you find your key support and resistance areas. This could have been a fairly nice day trade today. I was really thinking about doing it. Could have probably made, you know, 1.5, 2% profit, because I would have sold a lot quicker. But right now I'm waiting for a bigger turnaround or a bigger drop, and I would love an entry around, you know, $86. Right now I have the limit order at 85.70 roughly, so right below the support line. But even an entry around 86.50 or something like that would be beautiful, beautiful entry. So I'm really, really looking for a support line bounce entry right there. What else do we have going on? Oh, EOS is one that's really cool that I want to talk about just very quickly, because EOS, we have a broadening wedge forming. And if you guys don't know what a broadening wedge is, it's not really something I trade, but I do notice it as a reversal pattern a lot of times. And here you can kind of see what's going on here. So we have, you know, we break out to the upside, and we're kind of forming a channel, an ascending channel. But the difference between a channel and a broadening wedge is a channel is very parallel, and a broadening wedge kind of goes out like this. So it's, you know, just move the trend lines apart. There's really no clear parallel trend. However, the general trend is upwards and getting further and further apart. Eventually we crack this. You can see the last time we see support is right around on this trend line, right around here. We bounce to the upside, get rejected, and then break it. Here we have a little retest, what I always call the breakout bounce. Breakout bounce or breakdown bounce. Anytime we have a breakout, we typically one last time retrace, test that level, and then use that as the new launch pad. And that's what happened down here. Broke, retested, formed a new launch pad to shoot back down. And I'm a little nervous that that's what we're seeing with EOS. So here we have the broadening wedge, and it looks very awkwardly similar. If you guys just, you know, take a quick snapshot of this broadening wedge here on EOS for a second. Oh, where'd we go? Here. So spike to the upside, broadening support and resistance zones, and then this last little dip right here, or this last little bounce. And check this out. We have the big break to the upside, support keeps going higher than this trend line, so definitely a clear broadening wedge. And then right now we're at that last little bounce after hitting some support here. So I don't know, I think there's a decent chance that we might break to the downside here, and I would definitely not be buying on this support. I might be completely wrong, we might have a huge run up to the upside, but again, this to me would not be an ideal trade. There's way more potential downside in a trade like this. So yeah, here again, I would have not been entering on this trade. I would have been entering right around here as we held support, right? We held support, boom, or we had support, held it, right? And then we came back here to retouch support, which is oftentimes a phenomenal entry. So yeah, I would not be having a blind limit order here. If we did bounce off of this and then we really had a lot of bullish activity kind of coming in here, then it might be a good entry. But right now, I just would not be running towards this trade. And I think actually Litecoin is cracking a little bit. Let's review maybe one more. Let's do a quick Neo for a second, because we already did Cardano just a little bit. So Neo is in a really cool pattern. It's called the ascending channel, and I love the ascending channel. It's a short pattern, at least in my book. I trade ascending channels, oftentimes very short biased. What I like to do is I like to wait till we have confirmation of a breakdown, and then we have a retest, and then I short the retest, and then I like to ride it. Typically, I'll ride one of these. As far as I see very valid support coming in on the bottom. So I'll form a little stick like this as we had coming here. Oftentimes, this is how you calculate how much there might be on a downwards run. You take where the kind of crash started. You could say the crash started here, but I like to be way more conservative and just pick here, move it down here, and then bring that line that we just drew over here, move it over here to the top of the ascending channel, and then here you can say that we might have a lot of support coming in, which would make a lot of sense. I mean, we already have this support line from before, and then not just this support line, but generally we had support showing here, we had resistance showing here, we had support showing here, and that is exactly on the 90 or 9.6 level. So very important level to keep in mind. Let's see what this PEG is. And if you guys don't have any more questions, I'll probably end the video right after this. So I think we basically talked about everything so far. Let me check PEG out. Doesn't look like it's a valid ticker. Probably means it doesn't have a lot of volume. So let me go to coin market cap. And maybe PEG is actually a stock. I didn't even think about that at first, but it could be a stock. So I guess PEG is a stock, but Finviz. Yeah, this is exactly what you were talking about. I don't know if you are a member, but if you are not already in the Discord private trading chat room, definitely check it out. I would love to talk to you more there as well. But if you have any questions, definitely leave a comment below, or email me at alex@enzo.com. I would be happy to check this out for you, and we can talk about this stock a little bit more. Looks like we have a bit of a wedge coming on here, but I don't really know anything about this company. So I'm not going to really be talking about it in this video, simply because that is not what the live streams are for. So I'm going to actually, let's review that. And then, next week, let's see how close this line actually came to fruition. So this will be really interesting. Right now, the market is dropping pretty heavily, and this is exactly what we've been waiting for. So I am super stoked. Let's go to Litecoin on pro.coinbase. And I think I'm going to be wrapping up the video here. I think we might have a nice trade coming up. So I'm going to have a sip of water, maybe buy some more coffee, and get trading. So I will see you guys in the private trading chat room. I'll let you know if I'm looking to enter a position. Like I said before, I already have 2 limit orders open right around this $85, $75 level. So really looking for a big bounce right around here, and don't enter prematurely. Wait for confirmation signals, because you don't know how far the price is going to crash once it starts crashing. All right, guys, that is everything for this weekly trade review. I'm super happy you guys tuned in, ChemDog, David, Shirley, and I'll see you guys in the Discord private trading chat room. Yeah, till next video, till next Monday, I will see you guys. So, ciao, ciao.